Another day, another dollar. Let's get that bread. And by bread, I mean let's make some sourdough bread. Everyone is always asking me to share my recipe, so here it is. One of the most important parts of this process is the food scale. She's my bestie. If you enjoy math, go off, sis. It ain't for me. So after I get some of my supplies out, it's time to get my starter. I ordered mine from Sadie's Sourdough. I will tag her below. I fed my starter last night around 10 p.m. and it is now around 6:30 a.m. What I've learned about sourdough is it's very hard to fuck it up. But I'm going to take my fed starter, zero out my food scale and the bowl. I am making 2 loaves, so I am doubling the recipe today. I am pouring 230 grams of my starter into a bowl, following it up with 680 grams of warmish water. After this, give her a little stir. Laura Ingalls Wilder, is that you? If she doesn't get that reference, she's too young for you, bro. I decided to make a rosemary sourdough today, so I plucked some rosemary from my garden, diced up that rosemary, and added her to my bowl. How much? I don't know. You decide that. A personal decision. Zeroed out my scale. Then I did 20 grams of salt. The laser focus. Zeroed out my scale again and added 1,000 grams of flour. I got this big girl from Costco. God, I fucking love Costco. And then you're going to mix her up. It'll become a shaggy dough. I swear mine looks different every time. I promise it's fucking fine. For some reason, I completely forgot to film myself stretching and folding. But after you mix it up, you're going to cover and let her sit for about an hour. And then do a stretch and fold every 30 minutes for 2 or 3 times. Honestly, sometimes I forget about it completely. It's fine. And then you cover her and you let her rest for a couple hours. This was probably about 7 hours later. She's a jiggly girl. I like her mama. You clean up your workspace, and now it's time to shape the dough. There is 1,000 ways to do every process of the sourdough making. You find what works for you. Since I doubled this recipe, I'm going to use my food scale to evenly divide it into 2 loaves. And then you do some of this hand action to kind of get it into a little loaf. Like I said, am I doing this right? I don't fucking know. All I know is my bread tastes good. After you shape your dough, you're going to cover her up and put her in the fridge overnight, or for about 6 to 8 hours. The next morning, I preheat my oven to 475 with my Dutch oven in there to preheat with it. Take my dough out of the fridge and place it on a piece of parchment paper. Then place it in the Dutch oven with the lid on for about 36 minutes. And then after the timer is up, you take the lid off the Dutch oven and put her back in for another 5 to 6 minutes. So after about 40 minutes or so, you have a beautiful loaf of bread that you let sit for about 1 hour before cutting. Happy sourdoughing!